Hello guys, this is Jefferson from Megawatt Studio, and in this video I'm going to show you how I created this animation intro in Blender inspired by Netflix Arcane series. So let's take a look at the final video that I did and jump back to the tutorial.
Wake up to the sounds of the silence that allows for my mind to run around with my ear up to the ground. I'm searching to behold the stories that I told when my back is to the world that was smiling when I turned. Tell me you're the greatest, but once you turn, they hate us. Oh, the misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Spare the sympathy. Everybody wants to be my enemy.
Okay, before we move on, please guys, if this is your first time on this channel, please I want you guys to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell because I usually post VFX videos, short films, the animation, anime recreate, and this is the first time I'm doing a YouTube tutorial, so I want you guys to bear with me. Okay, so enough of the talk, let's get back to business. Okay, so this is my 3D setup and I'm using Blender 3.0. Okay, so the link for the 3D models are in the description below, so you can go and download them as we move on, or you can use any 3D setup of your choice to still get the results that you are going for. Yeah, this tutorial is not going to be an in-depth one. We are just going to focus on a few basic steps in achieving a cinematic result. Just a simple click, so it's going to be fun. Okay, so the first thing we are going to look at is camera movements, how I did the camera movements in the video that I've just shown you, and it's very simple. So the first one is panning. I want to pan around my main subject. So this is my 3D model and I want the camera should move from left to right, and the way I found to move camera, like to constrain cameras, is a simple technique that I want to show you. I know some of you know it already, so it's a very basic one. So the first thing I will need to do is add an empty. So go to an empty and add a cube. So I'm going to add a cube to the scene. Keep empty. So this is a cube. This is a subject I want to move the camera around. So this is where I've placed my empty box. So I just want to scale it a little bit. Yeah, so my focus will be on the eyes rather. So let me move to the eye. Okay. So the next thing I'll do is what? I want to parent the camera. I want to parent this camera to this, what do you call it, to this empty. So to do that, just click and shift click on the empty, then what, control P, then what, keep transform. So now if I move my empty, if I rotate it, the camera what follows the same movement. Okay, so let me divide my screen so that I can see both sides. Sorry. Okay, so let me press O. So this be my camera view and this will be my workplace. So see, so if I move the camera left to right, the camera is parented to this middle, to this, how do you call it, my main subject here. So rotating the camera around is very easy to do. So this is a 360. Okay, so let's animate this very quick. Okay, so I want Okay, first now I want to, I call it, obscure this place. I want to see what the camera says. So another way to do it is come to click on the camera, come to the camera settings down here, then go to here. If you click on it, then everything that the camera is not saying will turn to black. So let me bring down the camera a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. You can experiment on the type of shot that you want, the composition that you want. So try to just play around with the camera. Okay, so I want to start my animation from, let's say, here. So I'll add a keyframe, I'll press I, and I'll choose maybe locational rotation here. Let me now, because maybe I'll change the position later. So if I move 50 frames, you know what, I'll move to the other side. Yeah, and click and add a keyframe. So if I play the animation, oh, it's a little bit fast. So let's try moving this keyframe. So maybe about 150 to be a little bit smooth. Oh, okay, that's it. So this is how I created all my camera animation in the video that I've shown you. It's very simple, and I can even control the camera without changing the keyframe. So let me see, let me give it a low angle. Let's look at the low angle. Yeah, like this. So try to play around with settings, the camera, the type of camera shot that I want. So this is a low angle shot, and let's play it. It's good because I'm using this this MCA is constraining the camera to only the center. So when the camera moves from left to right, it still maintain that kind of orientation. I don't know what I'm saying, but I hope you understand. Okay, so yeah, so this is how I did my camera movement, all of the camera movements. Okay, so another technique or another camera technique I used in the video is zooming in and out from the main the main subject here. So there's two ways that you can do that. The number one is you animate the focal length of the camera that you are using. Maybe now I'm 50, the camera lens is 50 mm, so I can change the focal length of the camera to give me that zoom in and zoom out effect. The second option is using two cameras, one having a different focal length than the other, so you can switch in between the cameras. So let's focus on the first one, animating the focal length, then you move on to the second one. So to animate the focal length is very easy. So maybe from here, from 80, click on the camera. I want to keyframe. Okay, let me move back a little bit. Like let's go to 85 millimeter. So I want to keyframe this. So there's a keyframe there. So let me move to 110. So I want to zoom in my main subject here. So I'll just increase the focal length. So now I'm in more zoom. Yeah, I think this one will do. Now I'll add a keyframe again. There's a keyframe. So let's play back and see. See. So that's how I did most of the camera transitions. or the zoom in and zoom out effect. So this is the first method you can use. So the second method is very simple too. So let's do that. Okay, let's clear this keyframe. The second one is you need two cameras. So the simple one is just let's duplicate this camera. So I've duplicated this camera. So this camera 1 and this camera 2. So I'm going to set this camera 2 at a different focal length. So let me see. Let me move it closer to this. Now, if you want to, actually now we are only seeing this is an active camera. If you want to switch the active camera to the second camera, just go to scene, then select what the camera 2, then it will change. So we are now viewing from this camera. So now I want to change this camera. I want to give it a different position. So I want this one to be a little bit closer to the main subject here. And try playing around. Just have to experiment. So yeah, like this. Know that this camera is still parented to this MTA, so that means it's still going to follow the same pathway as the first camera. Okay, so let's play. So you see, it's still following the same pathway. So now let's try to animate from camera A to camera B. So to do that is click on the first camera, click on, then you want Control B, come to the timeline here, Control B, let's say yeah, frame 60, then Control B. Now you see a marker is there, so this marker is for this camera. So now let's move. So let's see, keyframe 100, you want this camera to click on the position like this, the camera 2. So come here and what, Control B. So whenever this this needle pass the camera 1 marker, is going to switch place. So this one is going to play, and this is where the switching happens. Because this you can move it around and move the marker around. So when it crosses, then what, you enter to the second camera. So these are two ways camera techniques are used in the video. So these are the only camera techniques I use. Zoom out, zoom in. All the rest is just playing with angles and positions. So these are the two ways that you can actually play with the camera. I know there's a lot, so please, if you have any other suggestion or any other tips for me, you can drop them inside the comment section so that I can go and learn, because I'm still a beginner here. So please, you can help me out. So actually, these are the camera movement that I've used in the video. Okay, so let me try doing this in again. Okay, swap. Okay, so you can try adding different camera angles. So choice, you can decide what to do. So the video, add another camera here. So this camera is just going to focus on this main subject here. Okay, so because there's no marker for the third camera, I have to add it. So I've selected the third camera already, so I'll just come to the timeline and Control B. So let me play the whole animation and see. Please, I'm sorry for I don't know. This is my first time, so I don't know. I hope you guys are getting it. I hope in the future tutorials I'll, I'll get more experience in how to call it, teaching these styles. And so that is basically it. So we're moving to lightning. That is where my the key point is. That's what I like about these 3D software. Okay, so the next thing we are going to look at the lighting, how I've lightened up my scene. So in this case, it's very simple because I only have one source of light. Because I want to create that kind of a silhouette effect, that kind of reddish silhouette effect. So I only one source of light here, and that's that is a basic style. So the reason why I add this bar here, or like this fender, is to let what light pass through them. That is what is going to give that kind of that volumetric light, that kind of depth in the scene. So that's I've added all this stuff in. Because if the light pass through, you can see the light passing through all these holes. That is making the thing look very nice and all those stuff. So we're just going to create one light source and add place some few buttons, and yeah, you get the same result here. So let's jump back to Blender. Okay, we are back in Blender. Okay, in Blender, to create a volumetric lighting effect, you can use any light source, but to me the one that works best for me is using spotlight. Yeah, so let's add a spotlight and try different type of lighting style. You can use sun, yeah, you can use anyone that you want. So in this tutorial I'm going to use a spotlight. So I'm going to add a spotlight. Go to light, have your spotlight here. So now I'm going to position in a such a way that it will be facing this I want to position that it's facing this so that the light will be coming from the back. So let's just go to so this is how it's going to be. So the light will be coming from this source directly to here. So there's going to be that kind of backlighting, that kind of silhouette effect. Okay, let's preview this. See what we have. So now everything looks dark. Because you can see how I call it, light hitting what this metal here, because the strength is we set it to white, but the strength is very low. So we are going to change to red. You can choose any color that you want. So yeah, like a reddish, something like this. So let's try increasing this thing now. In the viewport, to disable you viewing this selected object, there's a show overlay. You have to turn this off so that you don't have all this happening on your your shade viewport shader. So we are getting our backlight here. So try to play around the lighting, the one that will be good for you. See, now it's now how to call it. There's no depth in this. There's no depth in the scene. Everything is bland. You can't feel the scene. So what to make the shot or this thing come alive is you adding what volumetric light into the system, into the scene. So now let's try to add volumetric lighting. So the first step in doing that is very simple in Blender. So now we are going to add it. We are going to set up the volumetric lighting. So the first thing we are going to create what? Bots. So let's size it up. So let's size it up. So this is acting as a domain, like it's acting as a domain where the volumetric light will take place. So I've added a box to the scene. So the next, let's go to shader, share edit. Then let's go and what? Give a new material. So click on new. Click on new. Blender will automatically give you the principal shader. So you don't need it. We are going to. So let's go look for volumetric scatter. So click on this one. So there is it. So now I'm going to plug this node and put into what? The volume node. Now before everything will go dark, let's go and increase the light source so that we have more light in the scene. So let's use this on a very high value, like 1 megawatt. Let's see. So let's try increasing it. Okay, now we are in what? 5 megawatts, and you can see light source. That means it's working. So just play around until you get what you want. See, I'm getting a result. Okay, let's see. So my density was 0.4. I'm getting this kind of baud rate. I'm getting what? You see the light passing through the walls. It's giving more depth to the scene. So just play around. Okay, so just try playing around until you find what is best. So it's all about experimentation. Playing with the density. See, it's giving us this cool effect. So now let's just disable the volumetric lighting and compare to the first one and see the difference. Okay, so this is it without the volumetric lighting, and this with volumetric lighting. Very cool. So this is how you play with the volumetric lighting. So now all you need is to play around, adjust the settings, the radius, all those stuff to get the best look. So keep experimenting until you find the one that is best for you. So this is how you make volumetric lights in Blender. So if anyone has any additional stuff, please comment it down below so that I can view it and try that one out. We're all learning here. So this is the image I just rendered. Now you can see the volumetric, you can see the lights passing through these holes. You can see the light passing through. You can see how depth, you can feel the depth of this image. Okay, so guys, that is how I achieve my volumetric light in my video. So it's very easy to pull out. Okay, so the next thing that you do to add that kind of a cinematic vibe to your 3D renders and all those stuff is to add what lens blur, because now everything is visible. You have to tell the audience or your viewers what they need to focus on. So there's two ways in what getting your main subject in focus. So the first one is Just use the camera, go to your settings, go to what depth of field. We're going to add what a depth of field to this, so we click on it. Yes, the first one is what to what manually what adjust the distance that you want. And actually I don't like this one because it's taking too much time to focus on what too much time to render the scene. So what I do is to go to the viewport shading here. Now in this place, it's very easy for me to get what is in focus and what is not. See, okay, let's use the f-stop. So if you decrease the f-stop, you're going to get more blurry image. If you increase the f-stop, you're going to get more sharper image. So let's decrease and get a focal point of this. So now you can see the focus is let me wait. Okay, now I see the focus is on the face now, so that's a distance 4.3 because the camera is moving at a constant. So yeah, so now our focus for the first camera is locked on. So that is how you set up. That's for the first one. So now you can go to your preview now, and if you render it, you get a nice result. Second way of doing it is adding an empty tool where you want the focus to be. So let's add an arrow. So this will be our focus. So now you go to the camera, click on it, click on depth of field, and you select what you want to focus on. You can use the eyedropper tool and select what. You can see the focus there, so you click on it. Now automatically the camera is going to focus on this point, so there's no need to change what distance anymore. So these are the two ways to get your focus. To wrap everything up, I want to show for the final shot. This is how my my setup is. See, I have multiple cameras. So this is how the shot is, camera movement and all those stuff. And we talk about all this stuff. So these are basic camera movements you can do. So you can add your own extra elements. So for instance, I've added how do I call it? So for instance, I've added dust particle. Just simulated a dust particle. It's very easy to do. I know this is not an in-depth tutorial, so you can go search online for how to create gas simulation. Very easy to do. So basically this is what I've done. So if I preview this, I hope it doesn't freeze. Yeah, I knew it. This is my scene setup for the second part, and basically what you have done in the first one, I just reapplied all the concepts here. So the movement of the camera is the same technique, moving the camera up and down, sliding the cameras. So it's all about the camera movement. It's all up to you, how you move your camera, how you set up the scene, how you light the characters. The same volumetric light too. Everything is applied here. So you guys just go around and play with all this stuff. So please, we have come to the end of the tutorial. I hope you guys like it. I know it's been wonky and boring. I know this is my first time, so I hope you guys will forgive me for that. And in on my next future great tutorials, I'll make sure I'll deliver the best content. So hope you guys learn a thing or two. Please, if you're not still subscribed to my channel, please give me this moment to go and hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, because I have more content coming up this year, fun stuff that you don't want to miss out.